My name is Plus Size Luxury, aka Manette, and today I thought I would do a sort of a unique twist on the collection review. So, Chanel came out with their 25A show a couple of months back, and then more recently they came out with their 25K show. And I noticed since they don't have a dedicated fashion director or creative director, that the collections are just super duper long. So I thought would be a fun twist on it, as I'm going to take what I believe, and again, I preface this that it's my opinion only, and you're free to disagree with me. We can have a discussion in the comments. So my opinion on the best four looks and then the worst four looks of each one of these collections. So I think let's talk. I have my laptop here, have some notes on the side in case you're wondering why I'm looking down. So let's start with 25A. So 25A, it is their, I'm gonna mispronounce this, their Métier d'Arts collection. I believe this was started in the 2000s by Karl Lagerfeld, and it is just a way to showcase the artisans and the houses that are behind the products that Chanel makes. So they have more creative reign. Let me read the little blurb that they have here. So 25A, the Maisons d'Art. Through its Métier d'Art collection, Chanel celebrates the Maison d'Art, sorry, I'm mispronouncing, and the artisans who embody the beauty and craft and continue to bring to life the creative vision of Chanel Creation Studio through their exceptional savoir-faire. So there are several different companies that they use. So the first one is Atelier Montex. They have been an embroiderer for Chanel since 1949. Combining ancestral traditions with contemporary creations, this is the magic of Montex Embroidery Atelier, the sophisticated and modern and precious motifs that contribute to magnifying the Chanel collections are made using needlework, alluvial, crochet hook, or with a Connelly or Cornerly, a century-old embroidery machine guided by hand. Montex joined the Chanel fashion métier d'art in 2011. They also have Goussens, which is their goldsmith that does their fashion jewelry, and I think their actual fine jewelry as well. La Meilleure, which does their feathers. Flower maker, pleater, couture expert in textile, and ennoblisher. I wonder what that word means. Lesage, which is very famous. They're embroiderers, so like if you hear that it's Lesage tweed, you know that it's going to be more expensive because it's more bespoke, handmade, that type of stuff. They also have Massaro, which is their shoemaker, and then Maison Michel, which is their hat maker and miller since 1936. So let's go into the looks. Should we start with the best or should we start with the worst? Let's start with the best. So let's go in order. So to me, number 13 is one of the best looks, and I will pop up so that it's next to me. But why I think this is such a good look, I think you guys need to watch the show, because with flash photography, I feel like it picks up every single sequin, but when it's like moving in motion, you can just catch flecks of like, ooh, it's pink, ooh, it's green, ooh, there's gold. Like there's just so many different patterns and textiles and sequins in this tweed that it is just chef's kiss. I love the buttons down the side. I think that's a very, I don't know, I think it's a very flattering cut for a lot of women. I also love the underlay or the sheath that they have underneath. That's all one pattern. I think that's really, really fashion forward. I even love the Chanel 25 in this bronze. Oh, I forgot to mention, I was going to also pick sort of like my favorite bag overall, and this is the bag I'm most excited to see. This bronze Chanel 25, I think this is the small size that she has right here. I'm very excited to see that in person. I think it will be a really fun metallic yet neutral color. This whole look, the belly chain, oh my, like everything, so good. Like this to me is peak Chanel art, just amazing. Okay, so the next one I thought out of my top four was 30. So let's go to look 30. Okay, you know, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell you guys, but there would be signs and you would see me walking around in this outfit. So I just love the color, especially if you're like super tanned, medium to dark skin tones. I know this is just going to pop perfection. It just looks so like chic yet comfortable, casual. I could go to work, but then I could go to brunch. I love all the jewelry. I love all the accents and the boots. The cut of, are they called culottes or like the capri like pant here? Stunning. Love the double bracelet cuff action. Everything about this, love, 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 love. This is definitely one of my favorites. Let's go to look 35. Look 35. So this is another one where I feel like it's better in movement than on the photo. So definitely check it out on the actual film. But this is, it looks plain black. And then as she moves, you just catch like flashes of the sequin within the tweed. This is just so cool because I feel like you could wear this to the office or wear the jacket with jeans or wear the skirt with a t-shirt. And there's just so many different ways you can wear this, and it would be just a year-round classic suit. You couldn't tell if this was from 2000, 2025, 2050. It's just such a classic, I think, shape, and it's not going to be dated, and it's just that little bit of like, I can wear black is so easy, but then the sequin makes it special. The Chanel buttons, the little feminine details with like the frill on the collar, not the collar, the cuff, and at the bottom of the jacket and the bottom of the skirt. Oh yeah, there is a little frill around the collar too. So I just think this is perfection and one of the better buys to me in this collection. And then finally, my favorite look, 41. Okay, I think this is the model Jill. I have no idea. I feel like I've seen someone mention her name, but if I got it wrong, I'm so sorry. This to me, I love that they're using a plus size model, which, you know, plus size, she's probably size 14, but baby steps, right? So, I love that they're using a plus size model. This is just such a classic, like the contrast with the pink and the burgundy, the buttons, like this is just such a classic Chanel set that I think is just so special. So I love the little so like the closure of the little cardigan, it has like crystals on the strings in the front, and then they end a little CCs. There's also little CCs dangling from the little tube top, or maybe it's a camisole underneath. Love that as well. All the details, the little vanity bag, the earrings. Really want to see these earrings. Very excited for those. And the styling and makeup, by the way, great choice. Great choice. Okay, so let's go on to the worst. We'll go in order. So the worst one, well, actually, let's not go in order because I'm gonna go to look 40. Now, this is actually similar to look 41, which was on my best list. But to me, this is just boring. It's boring. And so they're like, wow, this is boring. So let's put this do-rag on her. And I was like, who is wearing this? Who is the customer? What Chanel girl are we thinking of here? I just thought this was a swing and a miss. Maybe if they took off the headpiece and did something different for the skirt, maybe made it a short or a long pant, maybe this would have worked. But I just feel like where they killed it with 40 was a no, a no. Let's go to look 18. Look 18. Again, this is like, why include this on the runway? Like, Chanel does like, their runway show, and then there's stuff that they make like embellished versions or simpler versions or just commercial versions of their looks that they send directly to their stores. And I'm just like, why did this walk the runway? Like, I can see looking at this in the boutique and I'd be like, oh, that's a cute cardigan. But when I'm at a fashion show, I want to be like, like, I am just like blown away. This is just too boring for the runway, personally. I mean, and it doesn't look anything innovative. Okay, so you have the drop shoulder, typical Chanel. Then you can, I guess, detach the sleeves if you wanted to. Not like super innovative or mind blowing. This to me, again, was just like too boring. I liked the fashion jewelry though. That was good. Let's go to 46. Okay, I see the applique at the neckline, and I'm sure a lot of artistry and patience and talent went into that, but then the rest of it is just a basic gold sheath dress with some pockets. It's a no for me, dog. Okay. And then finally 57. This one, arguably, I think is the worst look overall. Why is that? Okay, I feel as if, sometimes, I don't, maybe, have you guys done like arts and craft, right? And then you were just like, wow, I killed it with this little piece that I did. So how could I incorporate this into the rest of the project? And I felt like the artisan was like, I love this bib. What can I attach this bib so that I can showcase this like front panel here and the work that I put in there in the panels? And so to me, the rest of the dress seemed like an afterthought, and it just looks puckered and unflattering on a statuesque, super beautiful woman. So how is it going to look on the average woman? Yeah, I just don't think it was designed with the customer in mind. I think it was, here is an art piece. I want to put this art piece out here. How can I fashion a dress around this art piece? And, comfort, silhouette, tailoring, be damned. That's what I think. What do you guys think? I mean, okay, so those are my top 4 best and worst from 25A. That looks like it's going to be released in June 2025. And I already pointed out what I think the best overall bag is going to be, which is that metallic bronze Chanel 25. Really intrigued by that one. Think it's beautiful. So the next one we're going to look at is 25K, which is going to be released in September of 2025. The theme of this one, I'm going to read the little blurb here. From the signature bow to the braid emblem embroidered on the first creations of the house, the ribbon runs through the vocabulary of Chanel. Tied, loose, or floating in the wind, it sets an allure in motion. Love that. It's, a good theme, an easy theme, one would say. So let's go to the looks. I'm going to actually do worst, then best. Okay, so let's start with, in order, worst. This is 35. And I will say, between 25A and 25K, I had a harder time finding worst in 25A, and I actually had to cut down my list in 25K as far as worst, because there was a lot I didn't like, but there's some gems in here too. So this is look 35. To me, it's too literal. We get that the theme is bows. Who is this made for? With the ruching on the bottom where it gathers this dress, it's just gonna look poofy, and no one wants to look poofy. And then there's a bow at the bottom, and why do I want a bow on my crotch, right? So it's just like, it's too literal, too basic, unflattering, misses the mark completely, completely to me. And again, this is all my opinion. I feel like Jacob allegedly. um, so now we're going to 47. Okay, so I get what they're trying to go here, abstract. So that's like a big CC pattern in a ribbon type look, blown up, so it's abstract. But then they decided to tack on these bows on the arms, so I just feel like I would feel like trapped. Like, can I raise my arms or am I like locked down because of the look? Then they have like a high-low situation. So 2005, dated. Are we doing high-low still? Like, I thought that was retired. So it was, this whole thing, and actually the three dresses that came out in this print and style, I thought were bad, personally. My opinion, allegedly. So I know I'm using the word allegedly wrong. 67. This is just boring. And it makes the model look bulky. And it just looks the opposite of chic. Why do we have this black band at the bottom? It just cuts her legs, and you always want to look long and lean, right? So I don't get that. Don't get the poofy jacket. Looks very piratey. This whole thing is a miss. I would say the only interesting thing is the pearl clutch. Otherwise, it's like, what is going on? You need an editor. And then the final worst look is 70. Again, this is too literal. Theme is bows. Bow, bow, bow. Too many bows. What is the rest of the garment? A jumpsuit. Anything interesting? Is there like a CC applique? No. Why would I spend $6,000, or I'm guessing is the price, I don't know the price, for a basic jumpsuit? And then the only thing that I do like about this, the pearl belt, that's actually very cute. But the rest of it, a total miss. Okay, so let's look at the best now. So let's go in order. So the best, number 7. So there seem to be a lot of like mixed reactions with the organza, the mesh overlay on the suits. I think it's super cool. Here's what I'm envisioning. Sorry. I'm envisioning I am a partner at a law firm. I walk in with my tweed Chanel suit to my meeting. I broker or deal a settlement, saving my client millions of dollars. And then I call my husband and I'm like, hey, I would like to go to Nobu to celebrate. And he's like, bet, I will meet you there. And so I go into my work closet, because in case you need to switch up the vibe. And then I put on my organza or mesh overlay of my suit. Softens the suit look, gives it a feminine, like fun, girly, like touch. And I just meet my husband at Nobu. And it's just like day to night, like super smooth. Like that's what I'm envisioning. I think it's so, so cool. So I actually loved it. I loved all of the suits with the mesh overlay or organza overlay on it. But this was definitely my favorite because of the little bit of sparkle, the buttons, the choker, the styling, everything here, the shoes. To me, this was like no misses. Everything was like bam, 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 bam. Awesome. First of all, gosh, the pink and the red, love the combination. All of this oversized jewelry, oh my gosh. It's gonna cost an arm and a leg, but I really want it. I love it, love it. Love the high contrast and the detailing and the buttons and the huge oversized clutch. I think this is just a great set because you could wear the pants, the skirt, or maybe it's a dress, the sweater, and you can get maybe like 5 or 6 looks just out of this one whole look here. So to me, loved everything about this. So, so pretty. Look 31 actually. Effortless, chic. This was really cool to me. I actually dare I say, I think this is the best look of the collection. Why is that? It has all the classic Chanel elements with like the tweed, the buttons, the collar, the details, but then it gives a very modern, fresh take on those things, gives them a more modern silhouette. I like the open collar, sort of very cool. Like it's a cool girl Chanel. I also love that they did the pants and they have the little 3-button detail at the bottom, the beaded bag. I die. This whole thing, I want to be her. If she walked by me, I would want to date her. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, like, she just looks amazing. This might be a little bit controversial. I actually love this look. I love the bow cutouts. I like how comfortable this is. I like how cute it is. This is definitely for the girl that buys all pink bags, has a bow in her hair, is just ultra like girly. I love it. People were just like, oh, this is too literal. I don't think it's too literal. I think it's actually a fun, creative, fresh twist on the bow. You show a little bit of peekaboo skin with the cutout. I think it's really fun. I think it's really fun. All right, and then finally, what I think is the best bag of the season, let me of the collection. Let me just see if I can quickly find it. Okay, I think this is the best bag of the collection. Whenever there's a pearl bag that releases, that Chanel releases, it goes viral. This one has pearls and sequins. So I'm already just like bracing myself for the cost, but I think this is stunning. I love the pearls. I love the sequins. If you can zoom up close, I think they're black sequins in the background for sure. This is definitely going to be the hit of the collection, but if it's, I hope it's not priced upon request, so we will see. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this sort of top 4, best top 4, worst top 4, and then overall best bag of the collection format. Let me know your thoughts. Do you disagree with any of my picks? And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I know this was a longer video, but I had fun making it, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!